Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Stacey and I'm independent consultant with Arbon International and a district manager. And today we're going to talk a little bit about confidence training, which I think helps everybody. Everyone has dips now and again. And I'm on this call completely barefaced, not had the chance to do anything. So you'll have to excuse that. This is just Arbon skincare, definitely no Arbon makeup going on. So I'm going to pass over to Lindsay Pieta and Danny Wells, and they're going to tell you and train you on a little bit of confidence. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Stacey. So a little bit about me in terms of confidence. When I first started my business 2.5 years ago, I had, believe it or not, zero confidence in myself, in my ability to give anything. Even like parenting, I had 2 children. And I didn't have a lot of confidence that I was even actually a very good mum, to be honest, or a good wife. I didn't have a lot of self-worth and a lot of self-belief in myself and my own abilities. So when I first started my Arbon business, it was completely out there for me. And I laugh at myself now because when I look back, when I first started growing my business, I had a team quite quickly. Well, I say quickly, within 4 or 5 months. And my team were looking to me to pass on information to them that I'd learned being in the big business longer than them. And when you've got a team, you feel a sense of responsibility. So I wanted to give them the information that they were looking to me for. But I was thinking, how can I give them that information? That what's the best way to do this? So I recorded videos, and that's why I started recording videos. And the first, I'd say, 15 videos I recorded, you don't even see my face. What you see is my hand drawing on paper, and I'm holding the camera like this, drawing on paper, talking, and I'm really like, oh God, I don't know what I'm saying. And my confidence was so low, I wouldn't even have my face on camera. It was just ridiculous. But gradually, the more I did it, and the more people that said, oh, that was great. I mean, obviously, it only started off with like 1 person in the beginning that said that was great. And then like the next time, 2 people said that was great. The more people that said that was great and I really benefited from it, the more I thought, hang on a minute, I might not believe in myself, but 3 people have told me that they've just benefited from something that I've just passed on information-wise to them. So that then made me believe that other people found what I was saying really useful. So that raised my confidence. And I'd say over the last 2.5 years, my confidence has gradually started to raise and raise and raise. So what I've done is I've put together a little training on a slideshow just to go through a few things that I did that has helped me over the past couple of years. And I've also got some of my favourite books. But before I do that, I want to introduce our guest speaker, who is the very gorgeous Lindsay. Now, I first met Lindsay a year ago, around now. I think it was September last year. It may have been August, actually. August last year. And she'll discuss this as well. When I first met Lindsay, it was through Vic McHale. So I knew Vic from a breastfeeding group, and then Vic knew Lindsay because Lindsay, did she know your husband?
Yeah, my husband's sister.
Yeah. So she didn't really know Lindsay very well, but she said Lindsay wants an Arbon party. She said, I don't really know her. She's lovely, but really quiet. I was like, okay. So we travelled up to Rotterdam near Sheffield, which is about 2.5 hours, 2 hours, something like that away from us. And I first met Lindsay and I agreed with Vic. She was lovely, like really warm, really friendly, but painfully shy. And she will openly say that as well, painfully shy. And I was like, are you okay? And she was just like, yeah, like looking down, like shoulders hunched over, like absolutely no confidence whatsoever. And then she said at the end of the party, I think that I'd like to do this myself. I'm a bit worried about my confidence, but I think this is something that's going to help me. And we were like, yeah, definitely. So I've watched Lindsay over the past year, like absolutely flourish. And a couple of months ago, we were at a region training where there was over 100 people, and she was pulled out of the audience to get up at the front and salsa dance, which she would never, ever have ever done. But we were like, go on, Lindsay, like, you can do it. So she got up and she did it. And we were like, at the end, well, how did it feel? She was like, great. But you know what? Lindsay would never have done that. So I'm going to let Lindsay share a little bit about her, how she first started Arbon, where her confidence levels were, and then where they are now, and the things that have helped on her journey. So I'll pass it over to you, Lindsay.
Thank you. So yeah, this time last year I was just a completely different person. So my Arbon journey started in August last year, and I had absolutely zero confidence. And there was something in me that I just knew Arbon was right for me. I wanted to do more with my life, and I wasn't in a nice place at work and things like that. So just doing, I mean, I was absolutely petrified in doing my first party, but everybody just says, just do it, you'll be fine. And I'm one of these people, I will just revise and just put out all the hard work in. Like, I'll be on it every night, working up to it until the actual night, just making sure I've got everything covered. And then you've got no choice because the people are coming, you've got to be there. And I just did it. And in like August and September, I probably hosted myself probably 3 or 4 parties at my house. And it just got easier, each one. And I think just doing it just makes you feel better because you've obviously gained something. You've never done it before. And you just feel great afterwards. It just gives you that extra boost. And so when you do the next one, you're all ready and raring, but as well, you're nervous again because it's a new set of people. But it's just amazing, honestly, the difference now when I meet somebody, just generally like in a shop or customer service or going to a cafe, I was always the kind of person that would be, I want that, that's it, thank you, and then leave it. Whereas now I'm like, I could be stood having a conversation with him in a coffee shop or, I just find it so easy now just to talk to people, and I just feel a lot better about myself as well. But a lot of it as well, I think, is down to reading. I've just read so many self-development books, and a lot of it has just made so much sense to me.
Was one of them this one?
The Compound Effect, yes.
I've got that ready to share as one of my top books for confidence.
That is the top book. And the what's the other book called? Just Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Love it. And it just makes so much sense, and not only in Arbonne but in everyday life. And I'm finding myself doing things now, like I performed in a dance show on a stage. I would never have done that before. I would have been petrified, and I'm on the front row of the stage. I'm like, what's going on? And then, like you say, at the conference we had, and Richard McCann actually like got me up on at the front doing salsa dance, and I'm thinking, I shouldn't be doing this. This is not me. But I'm just like, yeah. It's like, well, why not? You just got to take the chance and grab it. And the more events you do, like doing stalls and things like that. I've been ever since, like doing my first stall. I was so nervous. And I'm like, what am I going to say when people come up to me? But it just reels off. If you're prepared, you've done the homework, somehow you find the answers and you just do it. And then you think afterwards, what have I done? And you just so like, you just give so much boost. It's just great. And then I was just saying to Danny, I've just set up my own baby massage classes. And
I said, Lindsay, you don't have a baby.
And now we're just like, it's just completely opposite end of scale to what I used to be. I would never, ever have hosted my own class. And I'm absolutely loving it. So I hosted my first class on Saturday, and I've just done a one-to-one tonight. And like tonight, the lady, she was so quiet, and it just reminded me so much of me this time last year and how I am now. I was just making conversation with her, and it was just so easy. And I'm actually sharing things with her. It was just really good. Yeah, so yeah, come a long way.
That's amazing. When you said that you are now teaching baby massage class, and I just said to you, this time last year, you would never have stood in front of one person saying anything. And now that you're starting your own business, teaching baby massage to a group of people, that is just, what a transformation in just 12 months.
Yeah. But it's all down to like Arbonne. I mean, before Arbonne, I never heard of self-development books. I don't know why. Motivational speakers, never really heard of it. But oh my gosh, the events that I've been to with Arbonne, it just phenomenal. Just, you know, and the books and things like that. I mean, I've never read a book like before. If I read a book, it would take me literally probably a year to read. So when people were saying this to me last year, you need to read, I'm thinking, I don't read, I can't read. I get bored, I fall to sleep. But now I'm just like, yeah, I need a book. And I'm like reading like probably 2 or 3 books a month.
Wow.
Yeah, I do like my books now.
So what, Lindsay, would you say are your top tips for somebody that has either started their own Arbonne business or is looking to start their own Arbonne business but feels like being shy and not having a lot of confidence is going to be their biggest challenge? What would be your top tips for them?
I would say you've just got to do it. You really have. If you really want something more and you're really determined, just put the homework in, so you know on the night. I know obviously you can't cover everything, but I would just book it in your diary. You know you've got to do it then. If it's in, people are coming, you've got to do it. Whether you like it or not, you've got to do it. And when you just do it, you feel good anyway. You just got to do it.
That's good advice. Really good advice. Did you want to add anything else, Lindsay?
And read books. Honestly, I never believed when people were saying to me that a book can change a life. But it has. Not just a book, but several, and I'm still reading now. You know, it's all fitting into place kind of now. Like a year ago, I was always a bit sceptical. I was listening to the people that was telling me. I weren't like saying that they were wrong at all. I was listening, but I kind of in my own mind, I was thinking, I'm not sure. But after a year of working on myself and taking on the advice and just doing it, it's all fitting into place now, and I'm ready to. Yeah, compared to last year, it's totally different. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that, Lindsay. And I've seen firsthand Lindsay's transformation in the past year, from last August to now September. So it was like 13 months later, and Lindsay has absolutely blossomed. This time last year, if I'd said to Lindsay, can you be a guest speaker on Stacey's confidence Zoom, she'd have said, no, I'm busy. But now she's like, yeah, okay. I was like, great.
Yeah, my first Zoom call, my gosh, I was sat in the dark.
Yeah, she was.
I didn't want to be seen.
So thank you so much for sharing that with everybody, Lindsay. We are very, very grateful.
No worries.
So we've also got another guest speaker on the call who has got another similar story to share about her confidence. So we've got gorgeous Emma Wood on. So I first met Emma when I went to high school all those years ago, Emma, about 15 years ago, and she was really shy then, but I can't judge because I was as well, so I don't even think we really spoke to each other because we were both so shy probably. And then we reconnected about 10 years later. I mean, we were friends on Facebook and social media, but we didn't really know each other much. And then about 10 however many years later, Emma reached out to me on Facebook and said, she basically said, you're doing Arbonne, I want to do it, can you sponsor me? That was basically what she said. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, really? She was the first person that ever literally was like, I want to do this, I'm ready to join, can you sponsor me? Like, I was like, oh, it does actually happen every now and again then, actually. Wow. I was like, yeah, okay. And then she joined and that was it. But I have seen Emma absolutely work on her own confidence so much. Like, I don't know. There is only a small amount of people, Lindsay included and Emma included, that I've seen really had to work hard on their confidence, that have worked hard on their confidence. Because I see a lot of people start an Arbonne business, they don't have a lot of confidence, but they're not willing to work on it. They just say, do you know what? I don't want to work on it. I just want to live my life as it is, working for somebody else, keeping my head down. You know, and then I'm going to retire that way. And that's what they do. But then there are a small percentage of people like Lindsay and like Emma that start the business with no confidence, like myself as well, and say, do you know what? I'm going to work on this. I am going to, damn it, work on this for my kids, for myself. I'm going to work on this. And Emma's done just that. And I've really seen Emma work really hard on this for the past couple of years, about 18 months. And she's absolutely come along miles. So Emma, do you want to unmute yourself? I'm so glad to have you on Stacey's call tonight. Did you want to share your story and about your confidence journey over the last 18 months?
I will do. Hi everyone. So yeah, I'm one of them really easy consultants that message people and like, yeah, I want to join, and I don't ask anything. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm in. So those of you who don't know me, I'm Emma, and I've been with Arbonne since April 2015. I'm still an independent consultant, and sometimes I'm like, damn, I'm still an independent consultant, but then when you take a step back and you think, okay, I'm still an independent consultant, but look how personal development has changed you as a person. So like Lindsay says, like literally read, because it's like, it will change your life. Do you want me to do my why? Because I've messed up tonight, so.
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah. So I am a stay-at-home mummy with 2 little boys. My oldest is 5, well, he's nearly 5, and my youngest is 1. And I decided to join Arbonne because I had one child who went to school, and being a working mum was hard. And putting 2 children into childcare, I knew that I needed something that I could work around my 2 little boys, but as well be at home, because childcare was just too much money. So I messaged Danny, like she said, and I was like, literally, what are you doing? It was the Vegas pictures that literally got me. She looked like she was having so much fun. So I literally joined and jumped straight in. So back in April 2015, when I first joined, I was a complete now. I really I literally would just walk around with my head down, wouldn't look at anybody, wouldn't communicate with anybody. And people would be like, oh, I saw you the other day. I'd be like, oh God, like literally lift your head up, woman. Don't be so shy. And like I just wouldn't talk to anybody, or walking into a shop wasn't even easy. Like I wouldn't know what to say. It seems really silly, but I was always bothered about what other people would think. If I said something, I would be like, oh, but what happens if they think that that's silly, or that's stupid, or why is she saying that, or why is she doing that? And that was always on the back of my mind. I was so focused on what other people were saying or thinking. They probably went half the time, they wouldn't even be thinking it, but I would be like, oh my God, they'll think I'm silly, they'll think I'm stupid. And I've had that ever since I was at school, like literally really low confidence, really low for myself. So looking back from here now and looking back, like personal development for me has really grown me so much as a person. I do care what people think now, but if they think I'm silly or if they think I'm stupid, then that's fine. We're all different, and it's good that we're all different. So my top books for my confident boosting is Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. That's like,
yay! That was what Lindsay said as well.
Really good. I've read that quite a few times now. And then also the one that I really like is Richard McCann's I Can. And then there's another one that I've been listening to on audio, like literally over and over again, is Girl Code, which when I first read that book, I literally read it within a day. I just couldn't put it down. And also I find that reading Eye on Arbonne every single day really boosts, like, not just your proof that Arbonne works, but also if they can do it, then why can't you do it? And reading an Eye on Arbonne every single day, you see how people start. You don't just see that they're a national vice president or a regional vice president. You see where they've come from. Like, people start and they have no confidence. You're like, oh God, you can relate to that person when you've read their story. And when you think that Sarah May Stubbins had no confidence before she was a regional vice president. And now look where she is now. So definitely read an Eye on Arbonne every single day if you can. Read like literally every single book that you can possibly get your hands on. Anything. I was like Lindsay. I was one of those people that was like, when I joined, I didn't know what I was doing, and they were like, "Oh, you need to read." I don't read. I've not read since I was at school. Why would I want to read? And if I was reading, it would be something completely different. So it took me a long time to be like, okay, I need to read. And then I would pick a book up and I would read like a sentence or a page. And then it got more and more and more until I thought, okay, it is actually helping. And the moment I did realise that it had helped was when my husband said, it has actually changed you as a person. You are more confident. I couldn't even speak to like family members very well because I would even be like bothered about what they thought. Like your own family members, that's like completely crazy. So yeah, definitely personal development is key to not only growing your business but growing you as a person as well. It's so important. Is there anything else you want me to say?
Thank you so much for that, Emma. You are blossoming. You're just such a beautiful person, not just on the outside, but beautiful inside as well. And it's such an honour to be able to watch somebody's journey like that from the side and see everything that you have done for yourself. You know, you've ultimately done this for yourself. You've not played a victim and said, you know, oh, I'm shy, I can't do it. You've not played the victim role at all. You've said, you know what, I am shy. I have got a confidence issue, but I'm going to work on it. And that's what you've done. You've gone to work on that. And the proof is in the pudding. Look at you. And then Lindsay as well. You know, it really is proof that if you're willing to work on yourself by reading and doing these little things every day that I'm guessing don't take up a massive amount of your day, but they all add up. Would I be right in saying?
Yeah, you can read for half an hour a day or even less. I think it was Jen Cowie that said about the pages. If you like fold 7 pages or something, and I did that, and you do get through a book a lot quicker because you're like, oh, them 7 pages went really quick. I'll just read another 7 pages until you've read like 2 or 3 chapters in a day. So yeah, I've gone from reading nothing to like a page, then like a chapter, to sometimes reading like a book in a couple of days. So it does work. You just have to keep working on it to build your reading up. But yeah, reading is key.
Fantastic. And have you got any top tips for anybody that has either started their business or is looking at starting their business, and like yourself, confidence is probably going to be their biggest thing that they're going to have to work on?
Okay, so my top tip is, as hard as it is, don't worry about what anybody else thinks.
I love that.
That is like the top thing. Don't worry about what people think. Number 2 is read. Like, even if it's 1 page, just read. Listen to as many audios as you can. And your Eye on Arbonnes, they're amazing for like boosting your confidence and seeing where other people have come from.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Lindsay.
That was brilliant. Thank you, Emma. Okay, so we've also got another speaker on the call who's sneakily jumped on. So I sent her a quick message. I was like, oh, I can see you on the call. Do you want to share? She was like, yeah, okay. So we've got Hayley Casher. Now, Hayley first started her business about a year ago, I think. Was it about a year ago, Hayley?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's sponsored by the gorgeous CJ, so Carl Carpenter. And Hayley's journey in the beginning is quite similar to my journey in the beginning. So I had not a lot of time, busy with the kids. I had no self-worth within myself at all, and I was constantly worried about what other people were thinking. I was in the middle of like depression and anxiety, and the last thing that I could be doing with was starting a business. Like, that was just the last thing. However, I was so sick to death of where I was in my life, for the sake of myself and my family, that it was, I would have kicked myself even more if I hadn't have started this business to enable our family to be in a different situation. Like, I'd have been more mad at myself if I hadn't have given it a go than if I just said, you know what, I just haven't got the time and the headspace for this. And Hayley's really similar to that. She's such a driven, strong person, but inside is like marshmallow, like dead soft on the inside. So Hayley's had an enormous roller coaster with confidence, and things have been up, things have been down, and up and down, but she's an absolute lifer. And the one thing thing about Hayley is she's not a quitter. She might temporarily have to have a sit down like an old lady, but she's not a quitter, and I love that about Hayley. So I'm really, really glad, Hayley, that you're on the call to talk about your journey in terms of confidence. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm not too sure what I'm going to say because it was sprung on me a little bit about like literally a few seconds ago. But I would say that as it stands at the moment, I'm only a district manager. So I'd say the biggest thing I have got out of this since I started my business is my confidence. Like Danny said, before I started this, I've never really had the family. I've never been told that I was great or been sort of overly appreciated for what I've done. So to be able to come into a business and make friends with so many people and get that boost of confidence from everybody, it's really meant a lot to me. So that I'd say my confidence is definitely my biggest thing. And I was talking to someone about this the other day because I've got a friend whose confidence levels are really low. And I'm occasionally keep talking to her about Arbonne, but I'm not sure whether it's a perfect fit for her at the moment. She's, I don't know if she would be able to get herself set up to be able to get started. Obviously, I've offered her the support, but I can see that the biggest thing that she could get from this is the building her confidence. And she says to me, I don't know how you talk to people. I can't talk to people. And so I couldn't talk to people before, and I said to her when I came up to AAC, I didn't think I'd be able to come, but I managed to get up there for the Saturday because I found a consultant in Fiona McCarthy's downline that was driving from Peterborough. So I thought, right, if I get myself to Peterborough, then I can get to AAC. And looking back on it, if someone would have said to me, right, I'm going to drop you off and you've got to get in a car with someone that you've never met before and spend an hour and a half just with that person in the car driving to Birmingham, then I'd have been like, oh no, I can't do it. But it never even occurred to me that I was doing that until after I'd done it. I just got in, and in the end, it was Claudia, and I had to say to her, I'm sorry, I have literally just spoken at you for the last hour and a half because I just kept talking. And I thought and that just showed how much my confidence has grown since I started, because I would never have done that at all. I remember I was trying to think when the Christmas party was the first time I came up and sort of met everybody in the upline, because we're sort of out of it a bit in the Cambridge area, so we don't get to see many people very often. But I remember at that was quite a scary thing. And then I think I was awarded something for can't remember. Oh, it was the client, building my client base. I think it was. I was in the top 3 for the region for building my client base, and I think that was when my confidence started to build, because it was like I'm doing something and I'm actually getting somewhere with this. And it's just the main thing for me. I do, as far as reading goes, like what Emma was saying, I do try and read. I have a bit of an issue with falling asleep when I read. So I have to either sit in the garden or I have to go somewhere to read, because at any point in the day, if I try and sit and read, then I'll just fall asleep. I don't know why, but it could be the best book in the world, but after a few pages, I'm starting to nod. So it takes me a while to get through a book. So I'm like 2 pages here, 2 pages there. Every time I get a couple of minutes, I'll just have to stand and read in the kitchen so I don't fall asleep. But I think most of the books I've read so far are to do with like time management and organising, and I love the Eat That Frog book. That was one of my favourites. I've just finished reading Beach Money, so a lot of the books I've read haven't been particularly sort of confidence boosting. I was going to put a post on the other day about what people recommend actually for sort of the top books for boosting confidence, but yeah, I don't really know what else to say. It was just, that I think, but yeah, that is definitely the biggest thing I've got from this so far. And it's a bit of a pull for me, because people that I can see could build their confidence with this business. And, they're still not too sure whether to jump in or not, and it's like you can just see how much they'd grow as a person, because I know I have, I just find myself randomly talking to anybody, and I find that I ask more questions as well now. I won't just sort of sit and wait for someone to start talking to me or ask me questions. I'm like, oh, what do you do? Do you have any kids? Do you have any pets? Do you, what's this? What's that? And I'm just chatting away. So yeah, I've turned into a bit of a chatterbox, really. So I think I'm going to shut up now.
No, Hayley, that was perfect. And what would you say if somebody was looking at this as a business and they said, I want to do it, but I just feel like my confidence is going to let me down? What would you say to them? What would be your biggest tips in terms of that?
That's probably the biggest thing that you'd be able to grow with this business. Because that's the biggest thing that I've got. And I didn't actually realise it. I think I was on, was it Sarah Law's call the other night, and she said about how much her business had grown. I think there was someone else as well. I don't know if it was Stacey, said that was the biggest thing they'd got out of this so far was the confidence. And I just thought, yeah, it's really true. And I've definitely got that out of it. So I'd say that lack of confidence really isn't an issue when you get started in this business, because it will just build and build.
Yeah, people pay thousands of pounds to go on courses that we get for free.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely a lot of the speakers you see, and I think sometimes it's just like watching trainings and watching, I spend a lot of time watching YouTube videos and listening to audios and stuff while I'm walking the dogs, and just things where you don't expect to get a confidence boost from. You do tend to get them, even if it just gives you ideas of things you could do, and then that boosts your confidence. There's more to it than, I don't know, I think boosting confidence it can't really be put into one thing, because you gain confidence from so many different things.
Yeah, very true. Stacey, did you want to add anything? I saw you unmuted.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that within Arbonne and the whole business, it was for me just to earn a couple of £100, but I've said this to many of you now, that it's now a self-development course with a business attached to it. And if I didn't have you, Danny, constantly believing in me, I don't think I could have done it. And I think that's why I was, I was attracted to you, and you were to me, that you've come into my life so you could give me the massive confidence boost I needed. You've breathed belief into me more than I'm not too sure why or how you done it, but you just made me believe in me. And because of that, I followed the steps you told me to do, and I think I've become an avid book reader, like you wouldn't believe, about 40 books now and counting. Not just reading, but audios as well. And it's really made a massive difference to my life.
Do you know what I think it is? I think as we grow into adults, people stop telling us that we can do things, and sometimes we doubt ourselves. Like when you're giving birth, whether you have a natural birth or a cesarean, you get to the point where you go, I can't do it, and then you've got a midwife there who's saying to you, you can. And because that midwife is saying to you, you can, all of a sudden you're like, well, if he or she thinks I can, then I can. And it's literally like they give you oxygen, which is not true, obviously, of course they don't, but it is like they give you oxygen to do what you need to do. And when Stacey started the business, and she's not alone, everybody that I work with, they're not doing anything else. Like, I'm not saying to them, like, you can do it, and then they're suddenly doing something different. They're not doing anything different, but just somebody saying, you can do this. Like, I believe in you. It is like somebody receiving oxygen, and it does help, and it does. And that's why people pay for, like, business coaches, or why people pay for coaches to run marathons, and people pay for coaches to do all different kinds of things, because sometimes you just need somebody else to say, you can do this. I believe in you. And everybody has dips. And it's like you need somebody to catch you in that dip and say, I know it's difficult right now, but I'm here for you. It's not always going to be like this. Tomorrow's a new day. I believe in you. And I think that makes such a difference when you've got somebody in your ear hole, but in a positive way. And then it differs from all the negative stuff that you get, that we all get in everyday life from a lot of our world. So just having that one person giving that positive, you're amazing, it really makes a difference.
And I think, I mean, some of the ladies on my team as well can sort of understand this, whereas every time, I didn't realise this was the case actually until very recently. And whenever any of the ladies on my team said something, I would instantly take it to heart and take it to offence. And then that made them feel bad. And they were like, oh, I feel really bad for making you feel bad. And I'm like, and I look back and I think, and it just happened again. I went, actually, I don't take offence anymore. Because I've worked so much on myself. I don't see it that way anymore. And it makes me realise how many mistakes I've made, but how much I've grown from doing the mistakes. So yeah, it feels really bad when you make those mistakes, but you become such a bigger, better person when you do them. So if you're going to make a mistake, make as many as you can, because you'll learn faster.
I couldn't agree any more.
Danny, can I just add something as well? I just wanted to say about the support that you get from people. And I know some people on this call will know a bit about my journey, and it has been very up and very down. And over the summer, basically, I just in a nutshell, I became a district manager on the day before Christmas Eve last year. I think January or February, I become an executive district manager, and I have got 8 or 9 consultants in my team. Just before the summer holidays, basically all of my consultants stopped working. I've got a couple that are still like consumer consultants, but I don't have any consultants that are pushing their business forward in the way that I'm trying to. And I was ready to say, that's it, I can't. Obviously I'm doing something wrong. I can't do this. So I took the summer off. To have a spend time with the children, but also to think whether I can actually do this. And I just think the support, especially that I've had from Danny, I've had from Suzanne, and I've had from CJ, and it just sort of got me going again. And it just made me think that they would, not that they'd be disappointed in me, but that they would be sad if I didn't try again. And I just had to look at it in a different way. And I thought, I am a district manager. I don't have a huge team at the moment, but the fact that I'm a district, I'm in a strong position to build a team, and that team can then, I can become an area with that team rather than that team growing me to a district. So I just wanted, the support that you get from your upline is really important, and I've always been very much supported by Danny, and it's very much appreciated.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure to have it as all as like a community, like a team, because I feel like I don't see it as like having like uplines and downlines. I see it as we're like one big community where we kind of bounce off each other and support each other. I definitely don't know everything, and the things that I don't know, other people do know. So it is like we bounce off one another. And I know that on my difficult days, where I'm really struggling with Arbonne, and it's not Arbonne, because Arbonne's easy, like using a different brand and recommending them is easy, but the battle is in our head. So when I have days where the battle in my head, the little voices are like, you can't do this, your team don't like you, blah 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 blah, when I have those days and I'm like, oh my gosh, should I just leave it all? And I think, oh my gosh, if I left it all, how much would I lose in terms of like the community, the support, the fun, the motivation? And you know what, sometimes it's not about building QV. Yeah, it's great when our QV builds, but sometimes it's not about that. It's about what we all get from each other, bringing our strengths to the table that help our weaknesses, and we all just become better people, and that is priceless.
It's definitely priceless, Danny, definitely. And it's not just, like you said, it's not just about the QV. We're boosting other people up to encourage people's confidence, not just their, not only building their business, but building themselves. And that's in all areas of their lives. So the amount of times I have sat there and I thought, let's just not. And I've messaged you, I think, must be about 3 times, and I'm thinking, I don't think I can do it. And you went, I'm here if you need me, and if that's your choice, that's your choice. And I'm like, I can't. Daddy's worked so hard. to give me so much, and all these people have said that, you know, how amazing I'm doing, and I'm thinking, and then I'm just going to throw it all away. And what happens if I throw it away? Then they go, oh, Stacey can't do it. And you've just got to think of other people. And so many people have messaged me going, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? How are you doing it? And the only thing I can ever say is self-development. Reading. And, you know, everyone does bounce off each other. And if I was to give up, how many people would I be letting down? You've got to keep going. If not for yourself, for everybody else.
So true. Okay, so we've got another speaker, the very lovely Ruth, who I just asked a few seconds ago on the chat because she was online. So Ruth started her business. She was sponsored by the very first person I ever sponsored. So the first person I sponsored, who doesn't do the business anymore, sponsored Ruth. So Ruth came bouncing into my life like the angel that she is. And Ruth has had a journey with confidence as well. So thank you so much, Ruth, for sharing. Is your internet connection okay?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, sorry. At the beginning, I was on my phone and my laptop. That was a horrible noise. Sorry, everyone. Can I just say, Hayley, you said I'm only a district manager. I would love to be a district manager. You're doing bloody well. Carry on.
Well said. I thought that as well. I thought people would give up their right arm to be in your position.
Yeah, exactly. You're doing really, really well. I think, like Danny said, you know, I started the business. We didn't really know what we were doing to begin with. You know, it was very much failing forward. And I think because of that as well, and my confidence, I completely and utterly stepped back from the business and just did it behind my Facebook screen, didn't speak to anyone. No one knew I was doing Arbonne, and that was fine. That was in my little safe zone, if you like. You know, I didn't want to step out of that safety bubble. And it wasn't, I think it's when you have kids, you become a bit more brave, don't you? I think that's what I had to do. I had to become a little bit brave by having James. And I was literally, I think I started to come back in, it was Danny's car presentation, and I was like a rabbit in headlights. I really was. And I don't think anyone really realised I just didn't start because I didn't want to do it, and I just absolutely scared the hell out of me. I've even said to Fiona McCarthy, she used to scare the hell out of me. I don't even know why she did, but she did. And then the first time Danny asked me to speak at the front, in front of everyone, it was literally like to say a couple of words. You know, it was nothing, and it was in region training, and I was absolutely crapping myself. I really was, and I was so nervous. I was shaking, everything. And I think at that point I thought, okay, I didn't think I had a confidence problem, but obviously I do. And then it became, so I've got better and better over time. But literally, I cared way too much about what other people think. And even my husband has said that to me. You know, he tells me off for it, that I do care way too much what other people think. I'm getting better with that as well. But a couple of months ago, someone put something negative about Arbonne, and I just completely took it to heart because I knew she was talking about me. And that absolutely knocked my confidence. I thought about it all the time. There was even I was even talking to friends about Arbonne, and someone else was listening, and I thought she'd said something, and that just completely, I really struggled so much with what people think. I'm getting a lot better now, and I think that is personal development. It is. I'm starting to realise now, starting to read and listen to everyone else, and realising, you know, you just can't think that way. I still suffer a little bit with speaking to people on the phone, which I know sounds silly, but I just do. I'd prefer to hide behind a text. And so no one really knows that. No one really sees that I struggle with confidence because I just hide it very well. And it's like a guilty secret. I don't know. It's like a confessional. And then, so I do know that personal development now is the last key for me. I've got everything in place. I know what it is. I know it's just that little bit of confidence that I need to get now. But I still worry about speaking in front of the team. I will push myself forward and I will do it. When I did my why, I'm so glad they had that stand there. What's it called, Danny? The thing.
Is it called a lectern?
Yes, that's the one. I'm so glad I had that as the paper.
The lectern stays.
Yeah, thank God for the lectern. So like I'm doing the DA and I'm absolutely fine about it now. And before I would have been panicking. I'll panic on the night, that's fine, but I'm learning how to wing it and blag it a bit more and not be so, you know, doesn't matter if I'm wearing inside, if I'm not showing it on the outside, then I feel like I'm getting better. But I do think personal development is still a huge thing for me that I need to do. It really is. So if anyone has any tips on books, I know I need to feel the fear, and I do say that to myself. If I'm feeling really nervous, I just say say it over and over to myself, is feel the fear and do it anyway, feel the fear and do it anyway, and I just keep saying that and then just go and do it, and I'm absolutely fine. So I think that's just the key now, but I'm getting there.
Brilliant. And have you got any tips for somebody that's either just started their business or is starting or maybe even relaunching, and they know that confidence is going to be their biggest hurdle?
I think you've got to think of the worst thing that could possibly happen, play the scenario over in your head and think, well, okay, I know what could happen now. Nothing can be worse than that. Let's just go and do it. And that's the kind of the way I do it, really. I don't know. That's my top tip. Think of the worst thing, get it over and done with in your head, and then go do it.
Brilliant. I love that. And while Ruth was mentioning books as well, so I've got my top books, and I personally think are great for confidence and self-development. So my number one is The Compound Effect. So I know that was already mentioned by Lindsay earlier on. The Compound Effect was the first book I ever read on personal development. And like these guys, I'd never heard of personal development or self-growth. Like, that was an alien word to me. And when somebody actually lent me this book, this is mine now, but somebody lent me their copy, and I had to give it back a week later. And the last thing I wanted to do was pick the book up and read it. But this lady was so nice. Her name was Sue. The fact that she'd given me her book to read, the night before I was going to give it back, I was like, do you know what? I've got to at least pretend to have read. So I've got to have at least read a couple of pages. I can pretend I've read it all because I don't want to hurt her feelings. So I was like, I'll just read a couple of chapters at the beginning, a couple of chapters at the end, and I'll just pretend I've read it all. So I started reading it. And I was like, I've never read anything that got my head thinking like what this book did. And obviously that's personal growth. I didn't know what personal growth was then. I couldn't believe it. I was hooked. I read the whole book and I reluctantly handed it back the next day, and I told her the story, and then I ordered my own copy. That was my first ever experience, The Compound Effect. And it's not about network marketing. It's just about how the small things that we do every day can either take us up in the direction we want to go in, or down in the direction. So The Compound Effect is brilliant. So that's my top favorite book. My next favorite book is T. Harv Eker, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Now, he talks about something called blueprints, which basically is from when we were born, our brain has been programmed like a computer, and we get a blueprint. So our blueprint knows where we live, how to get back home on autopilot. We don't have to think about how to drive home. It's autopilot to us. How to talk to other women, how to talk to other men, how to talk to children, how to act, how to remember to say please and thank you. These things are on autopilot. And the things that we do without even thinking are from our programming in our brain, which is our blueprint. So if we were to transfer everything from our brain onto paper, it would be a blueprint. Now, most people don't even know what their blueprint is. I didn't. And I read this book, and the first thing it does, it explains what blueprints are, which is just the programming going on in your head. So the things that you do on autopilot. And then it helps you understand what your blueprint is. Now, I didn't realize I had a problem with money. I didn't like money, and it came to my childhood. When I was younger, my parents used to that's a disclaimer, I shouldn't have said that. Somebody used to say that rich people aren't very nice. People that had nice cars were a-holes, not very nice people. Money doesn't grow on trees. People that win the lottery, they lose all their money because it turns them into horrible people. If you've got loads of money, you don't have any friends. So I had an issue with money. If I have money, it makes me feel like a bad person. So I was constantly in debt because my blueprint told me I had to be in debt, I had to be in debt, I had to be in debt. And I didn't realize that until I read this book, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is my blueprint. So the next thing it does, after you've addressed what your blueprint is it helps you change it. So you have to reprogram and change your blueprint. So this book is incredible for that. And it's not just about money, it's about all things. Like some people have a weird relationship with men. Like if they've seen their dad abused their mum all their life, their blueprint is love. To them, they see love as the man abusing the woman. That's how they see it. That's their blueprint. And even though they might say, you know, that's not very nice, their blueprint inside their head, their autopilot says that that's normal. Even though out their mouth they're saying that's not normal, that's not nice, their blueprint is saying something else. So they automatically go towards men that are abusive because that's their autopilot, that's their blueprint. And they keep going back to the same men. They're like, why do I keep doing this? And you won't change it until you change your blueprint. So it goes over stuff like that, and it goes over relationships with food as well. So people that have to eat food to get comfort, you know, it goes through all of those blueprints that we have. So that is a fab book, and it talks about confidence as well. Why people struggle with confidence, it's to do with the blueprint and how to change that. So I love that book. Failing Forward has been not the book's been mentioned, but people have said make mistakes. This book will really help people that need to just accept that mistakes are part of the process. If anybody has got children on the call right now, you will know that making mistakes when you're becoming a parent is inevitable. Nobody's the perfect parent. The quicker you can get past the fact that you're going to make mistakes, the better the more successful relationship you're gonna have with your child. You're gonna make mistakes. You're going to mess up. Get over it. It's going to happen. You can't avoid it. And that's the same in life. Building business, building friendships, doing one-to-one, doing parties, doing follow-ups, doing phone calls, doing trainings, all those things, you're going to mess up. You're going to mess up. And this book, Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell, helps you just accept that quicker. So if making mistakes makes you anxious, you've got to read this book or listen to the audio of it, because it will make you just accept that basically the first 10 things that you do of anything, you're going to be terrible. The first 10 one-to-ones, the first 10 parties, the first 10 people you sponsor, you know, the first 10 things that you do, you're not going to be brilliant. You just got to accept it. The quicker you accept that, the better you can move on. So this book helps you accept that. And that was one of my biggest problems. I couldn't accept that I was constantly making mistakes. But the only reason I was constantly making mistakes was because I was doing more. That was it. You know, the other option is to do nothing. Yeah, you don't make any mistakes, but then you're doing nothing. Like, what's the point in that? It's better to do a load of stuff badly, and then eventually you get good at it. So that's my next book. Okay, this one. Oh, thanks, Stacey. Wow, clapping. This one is quite a hard read, so I wouldn't go for this first. It's called The Power of Neuroplasticity, and it's by Shad Helmsletter. So Shad Helmsletter. Now, this is a tough read, okay? I'm not even going to lie. It's quite a thick book. It's quite a tough read. However, it is, again, all about the blueprint. So neuroplasticity is about all the wires in our head, and it comes down to the blueprints again, but it's in much, much, much more depth. So once you've read T. Harv Ekers, this is a good one to read afterwards, because it goes into depth about your blueprints, why the wires in your head have been wired up the way they are, why your blueprint is the way it is, and how to tweak those wires in your head, those blueprints in your head. So that's a good book, but I wouldn't go for that one first. And then my last favourite book is a new book, a book I've only recently received in the post from Stacey, and I love it. I wish I'd read it first. It's called You Are Badass by Jen Sincero, and she's got the audio of this on YouTube as well, and there's also a 50-minute interview by her on something called Inspire Nations. Just that 50 minutes is fabulous as well, and then you can have a look if the book interests you. And how she talks about stuff, like she swears a little bit in it, so I quite like that. She's like keeping it real. It's really, really good. So it's just about accepting that you have an inner greatness, and you either decide to let that inner greatness die in you, you know, when you're 80, 90, 100 years old and you've died not really achieving much, or if you just get out there, make mistakes, unleash that inner greatness and just get on with it. And that's what Stacey's done. Stacey had an inner greatness, but if she hadn't have met me, no, I'm really joking, if she hadn't have made a decision, if she hadn't made a decision to do more, that inner greatness would have died with her, and no one would have known Stacey Humphries Blackley. Now look at the joy that Stacey brings to all of our lives. Like, even when she does crazy, stupid stuff, like, we're like, Stacey, you're hilarious. Like, we love it. We absolutely love it. Like, Stacey has had her inner greatness come out, and she's just made so many people happy. And she's not the only person. Everybody else has too. Ruth, Hayley, Lindsay, Emma, everybody else on this call, your inner greatness has come out, and you're sharing that with the world. And that's why we all love you, for all your different things that you have going on. So those are my top favorite books. Now, I did do a slideshow, and I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to share it. So if anybody's watching the recording, they can take pictures of the slideshow, but I'm not going to do it because everything has already been said in tonight's call. So I'm just going to show you the pictures of it. So if anybody wants to take pictures, they can do. I will post the recording. So this is the definition of confidence, which is full trust. So belief in themselves, belief in the reliability of oneself. Let me just mind the little camera there. So I'm just going to get to the end with the 5 top tips. There's no point me talking about all this. It's all been said by the amazing speakers tonight. Just go past. Okay, so I'm just going to end on this. I'm going to pass it back to Stacey. So 5 powerful ways to boost your confidence. So number 1, stay away from negativity and bring on the positive. So this is the time to really evaluate your inner circle, so including your friends and family. So this is a tough one, but it is time to seriously consider getting away from those individuals who put you down and shred your confidence. Even a temporary break from Debbie Downer can make a huge difference and help you make strides towards more self-confidence. Be positive, even if you're not feeling it quite yet. Put some positive enthusiasm into your interactions with others and hit the ground running. Excited to begin your next project. Stop focusing on the problems in your life and instead begin to focus on solutions and making positive changes. So that's number 1 of 5. Number 2, change your body language and image. So this is where posture, smiling and eye contact and speech slowly come into play. So just the simple act of pulling your shoulders back. So everybody, shoulders back please. Good, thank you. Yeah, loving that. Nice posture. So pull your shoulders back. It gives others the impression that you are a confident person. So every time you're not feeling confident, so when Ruth goes to present the Discover Arbonne next week, shoulders back, and people will think, I bet all you can see is my boobs on this camera now. Okay. People will think you're much more confident than what you are. And when people think you're more confident than what you are, it makes you more confident. So start by pulling your shoulders back and just raising your chin up a little bit. People will think, oh, wow, she's confident. So smiling will also make you feel better, and it will also make other people feel more comfortable around you. So imagine a person with good posture and a smile, and you'll be envisioning someone who is self-confident. Look at the person that you are speaking to, not at your shoes. Keeping eye contact shows confidence. So last, speak slowly. Oh my gosh, I need to master that. Research has proved that those who take the time to speak slowly and clearly feel more self-confident. This is why I speak fast. So my confidence still needs to be worked on. So people that speak slowly are more self-confident and appear more self-confident to others. The added bonus is that they will actually be able to understand what you are saying. Yep, I need to make a note of that. Go the extra mile and style your hair. Give yourself a clean shave and dress nicely. Not only will this make you feel better about yourself, but others are more likely to perceive you as successful and self-confident as well. So a great tip, when you buy a new outfit, practice wearing it at home first to get past any wardrobe malfunctions before heading out. Now, this is Natalie Crawford's top tip that I stole. She always says that when you're on a Zoom, still dress to impress because it makes you feel better about yourself. And I thought, oh no, Natalie, like, I just want to be comfy. And she was like, just try it. I have to admit, I've eaten humble pie because when you do dress really nice and you do your hair, you do your makeup, it does make you more confident on the Zooms. Honestly, I used to like have my pajamas on at the bottom and then just some nice top on top and would like sit far away from the camera with hardly any makeup on. And honestly, try it. Try Natalie's tip. Dress up the next time you're on a Zoom and it will make you feel more confident. Okay, number 3 of 5. Don't accept failure and get rid of negative voices in your head. Never give up, never accept failure. There is a solution to everything. So why would you want to throw in the towel? Make this your new mantra. Succeeding through great adversity is a huge confidence booster. Like Ruth said, she had some adversity recently to do with her business. And do you know what? She didn't say, do you know what, I'm going to quit because this is hard. She worked through that adversity and that has helped boost her own confidence. So the more we can work through adversity, the more confidence we're going to gain. Low self-confidence is often caused by the negative thoughts running through our minds on an endless track. So again, this comes down to those blueprints I was talking about that go onto autopilot without us even knowing. If you are constantly bashing yourself and saying you're not good enough, you aren't attractive enough, you aren't smart enough or athletic enough, and on, you are creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. You are becoming what you're preaching inside your head, and that's not good. The next time you hear negativity in your head, switch it immediately to a positive affirmation and keep it up until it hits the caliber of self-confidence boost. I had to work on this really hard in the beginning because I was so harsh on myself. Number 4 out of 5, be prepared. So who said that? I think Lindsay said this in the beginning about being prepared, about what she was talking about when it came to Arbonne events. Learn everything there is to know about your field, job, or presentation, whatever is next on your to conquer list. If you are prepared and have the knowledge to back it up, your self-confidence will soar. So get onto the weekly team trainings. We obviously have our team trainings on a Sunday night, and I know some other teams are different nights, but get onto them. They are put on free and voluntarily. People give up their time, people give up their knowledge, people give up a lot of things so that you can plug into those trainings. If you can't get on live, they're recorded. So make sure that you are filling your head with the knowledge that you need, because the more prepared you feel, the more confident you're going to be. And then lastly, and then I'll hand it back to Stacey, number 5, for tough times, when all else fails, create a great list. So life is full of challenges, and there are times when it's difficult to keep our self-confidence up. Sit down right now and make a list of all the things in your life that you are thankful for, and another list of all the things that you are proud of accomplishing. So Hayley can put, I'm proud that I was able to turn over enough monthly volume to make me and my team a district. Like, that is something to be immensely proud of. Like, oh my gosh. And sometimes when I'm having a Debbie Downer day, I only have to think to myself, my gosh, Danny, you have created something from nothing. You turn over immense amounts of dollars a month in products that are in people's bathrooms, that are on people's dressing tables, that are in people's kitchens, that are pure, safe and beneficial. They were previously using all these toxins, and now there are thousands of households across the world that have got rid of the toxins and now using better products that don't cause and feed disease because of you. Like, you should be proud of that. So if I can work on my negative self-talk, you guys can as well. So once your list is complete, post it on your fridge door, or on the wall, or by your desk, or on the bathroom mirror, somewhere where you can easily be reminded of what an amazing life you have and what an amazing person that you are. And if you feel your self-confidence dwindling, take a look at those lists and let yourself feel and be inspired all over again by yourself. You are amazing. You need to know that you are an amazing person. And if no one else is going to tell you that, you need to tell yourself it. And the more you tell yourself you're amazing, the more other people are going to go, she's amazing. And they won't know why. And the reason is because you've told yourself. So then if you start to believe it, other people are going to start to believe it. And that's going to gradually, day after day after day, it's going to build on your self-confidence. So thank you for that. I'm going to pass it back to Stacey, but I hope you guys have enjoyed the call that Stacey organised tonight.
I just want to say a massive thank you to all the speakers, and thank you, Danny, for letting us use your Zoom, and thanks for your wonderful, wonderful contributions as always. You're absolutely incredible, a true inspiration, and one hell of a mentor. I'm sure everyone agrees, and to be honest, you're a bit like a celebrity. Every time there's a training or anywhere we go in AAC, everyone's like, oh, it's Danny, let's take a picture. So she's like you're like a celebrity, and I just want to say thank you so much, and thank you to Hayley, Ruth, Lindsay, and everyone who's contributed to tonight's training. I really hope it benefits everybody else. Thank you so much.
Thanks for organising, Stacey.
See you later. Good night, ladies.
Bye, everybody. Bye.